A violent gang is now off the streets and behind bars. 5 men going before a judge Wednesday facing 33 counts. It closes 8 murders and 12 attempted murders in Broward County. It all began in January after the shooting death of 17-year-old Terrence Farrington at a Plantation Best Buy.
They was buying ring cameras. Terrence came out, Terrence fell, and
New paperwork just dropped and it's pointing fingers at Kodak Black, saying he allegedly threw down 20 grand to get the Wizard taken out. This one's gonna get deep. Now let's talk about the main dude in the middle of all this. Sigmund Brown, better known as Liberia Sig. He's a rapper out of Florida and he's been throwing shots at Kodak for a while. Him and another rapper, HMT Trey, have been sending out major disses. Not just at Kodak, but even at Wiz. And guess what? Not long after that, both of them got hit with indictments. Here's the other key player, HMT Trey. He's right next to Liberia Sig in all this chaos. These two weren't just talking tough. They were out there flashing serious weapons. I'm talking ARPs, Dracos with drums, and Glocks with switches. When you look through the paperwork, it says when they allegedly killed that 17-year-old, they used a .223, a 7.62, and a 9mm. That's heavy firepower. And here's the craziest part. If you check Reddit, people were clowning this crew.
right there.
4 people shot, including 2 customers. Police now say Sigmund Brown, Kavarius Johnson, and Gerard Charles are responsible for the teen's death. A fingerprint lifted at the scene led the Broward Sheriff's Office gang task force to one of the gang members. 10 months later, 8 arrested, firearms confiscated, along with stolen credit cards and ammunition. Trayvon Key and Kavarius Johnson.
They were saying this group was all talk, just pretending to catch bodies and not really sliding. But now the police are claiming something totally different. They're saying these dudes were really out there putting in work, for real. Johnny yells, "Them switches going off, y'all hear that?" Let's run that back, rewind that moment, because this right here shows we're not talking about some little play rap group pretending to be gangsters. These were real street moves with real consequences. These young dudes weren't playing around. They were really out here making moves, dropping bodies back to back and letting off with machine guns like it was nothing. This wasn't no talk. They were putting in real work. But here's where things get strange. How does Kodak Black even fit into all of this? Because this same crew was dissing Kodak in songs. So what's the story? Were they cool once and then things went left? Let's dive deeper into it. Like I said, this whole story centers around Sigmund Brown, aka Liberia Sig. And everything connects back to a 10-month investigation that kicked off with a single fingerprint. One print that started unraveling a whole chain of shootings. According to the paperwork, Brown is believed to be the top man of a crew called the Dan Hot Boys, also known on the streets as the Grand Mafia. Authorities say he's the one calling the shots for the entire group. Now the key murder they're focused on is the first one, the killing of Wisdom Williams, better known as Wiz the Wizard. This part gets heavy. The song Righteous Reapers featured Kodak Black, Wiz the Wizard, Wham Spin Dabbin, and Psycho Bob.
Charged with the shooting death of rapper Wiz the Wizard, or Wisdom Johnson, back in September of 22. Johnson also accused in the shooting death of Antoine DeBard. He was shot at a laundromat in Pembroke Park back in April of 23.
They started just unloading. They just started firing.
Johnson also is accused of murdering Ronaldo Donner and Terry McKenzie, both shot and killed while driving on 95 in Fort Lauderdale, May of last year.
Second victim has a gunshot wound to the back of the head. 2 level 1 traumas on the Broward.
We have Sunrise Boulevard completely shut down westbound. They are walking the ramp, looking for evidence on this roadway right now.
Kavaris Johnson and Raha Roll facing yet another murder charge, this one a week after Terrence Harrington was killed, this time
a track that brought them all together before things went south. The original music video got taken down for reasons that were never made clear, but in the clips that are still around, you can see Wiz and Kodak side by side, rapping like brothers in arms. Psycho Bob's locked up in the feds now, and it's been rough. His mom was tragically killed not too long ago. It's been one bad hit after another for that circle. But back when things were good, Wiz and Kodak were super tight. You could scroll through clips and see them vibing together all the time, laughing, performing, just locked in. Then something flipped. That loyalty cracked and everything went dark. Wiz ended up dead and the whole internet lost its mind. Rumors started spreading wild. People saying he was found in a horrifying condition, stories flying in every direction. But instead of running with gossip, we're about to break down the real evidence, straight from the paperwork itself. This is where the truth starts to surface. I'm about to show you exactly how to find this paperwork yourself. No cap. We're gonna read through it together because these accusations are no joke. I don't want anyone thinking I'm just talking. This is real documentation straight from the official court system. It's all right there on the Broward County Clerk of Court's website. And the case we're looking at belongs to none other than Sigmund Brown himself.
I've been shot. Calm, my boyfriend.
Johnny
Them switches going off. Y'all hear that shit? Let me rewind it. Let me rewind that.
time.
I've been shot. Calm, my boyfriend.
Johnny Henderson shot and killed while driving in Miramar.
Those 5 in court yesterday. The other 3 will appear tomorrow. If convicted, they do face life in prison or the death penalty.
Now, before we dig in, I gotta skip over some parts. I'm not showing any addresses or personal info that could mess up the video or violate privacy. But once we scroll down to the defense motion to set bond, that's where things start getting wild. It talks about how Brown had what's called an Arthur hearing, basically a shot at trying to bond out of jail. And in that motion, it lays out the whole backstory of what he's actually facing. Check this out. Brown's been slapped with a 33-count indictment. That's insane. The list goes on and on. 3 counts of first-degree murder, 8 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 1 count of racketeering, 1 count of conspiracy to commit racketeering, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. On top of that, there are 3 counts of using a two-way communication device for illegal activity, 1 count of shooting into an occupied dwelling, and even 1 count of accessory after the fact. And here's where it gets even heavier. They're saying the charges include a gang enhancement. That means the state believes this wasn't just random. They're calling it organized gang activity. And when they add that enhancement, it automatically boosts the penalties to a whole new level. So how high can that punishment go? The paperwork says it straight up. The state filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty if Brown is convicted on any of those first-degree murder counts. That's serious business. And here's the wild twist. This is the exact same type of move prosecutors tried to pull in the YNW Melly case. They went after him the same way, trying to prove gang ties and premeditated murder to hit him with the maximum sentence. The similarities are too real, and it's starting to look like history might be repeating itself in Broward County. So here's where the courtroom drama really starts to heat up. The prosecutors are pushing the gang narrative hard, saying if the jury gives them that conviction, they want nothing less than death as the punishment. That's right. They're asking the judge to sentence him to death if he's found guilty of any of the murders. That's an extreme demand. But here's what's wild. The case itself is mostly circumstantial. It's built around cell tower location data and a bunch of text messages between Brown, his co-defendants, and a few others.
Family business only, man. I'm still with the same niggas. Oh God, I'm still with the same niggas. Tag me in that bitch, bro.
There's barely any solid forensic evidence linking him directly to the crimes he's accused of. The defense is arguing that with evidence this thin, there's no reason to keep him locked up without bond. They're saying a reasonable bond should be granted on all counts, even the ones that could carry life or death. Basically, the defense is calling the state's case weak. They're saying this whole thing is mostly smoke and mirrors. The only physical thing they claim to have is a fingerprint found inside a rental car, and that rental was supposedly used in one of the murders. Other than that, the rest of the case is just the police connecting dots and theories. But somehow, they've pieced together enough to drag everyone into this massive indictment. Now we're about to skip through all the minor details and jump straight into what everyone's been waiting for: the connection between Wiz the Wizard, Sig, and Kodak Black. That's where this whole case takes a wild turn. According to count 17, Sig is charged with accessory after the fact, and it even comes with a gang enhancement. The paperwork claims he helped Trayvon Key avoid getting arrested after the murder of Wisdom Williams, aka Wiz the Wizard. That's a first-degree felony, punishable by life in prison. The report gets dark from here. On the morning of September 17, 2021, the body of Wisdom Williams, Wiz the Wizard, was discovered in the front yard of a home in Dania Beach. The paperwork says he'd been shot multiple times, in the back and the head. A brutal end to someone who was once deep in the music scene and tied closely with Kodak. According to detectives from the BO Gang Task Force, Wiz was already on their radar, a documented member of Zone 10, a local street crew under investigation for multiple violent incidents. So his death didn't just shake the neighborhood, it threw gasoline on a case that was already burning hot. And now, with Sig's alleged role being tied directly to helping someone escape after that killing, the story takes on a whole new level of danger and suspicion. The evidence paints a chilling picture. Detectives believe Wiz the Wizard was transported to the scene in a gray Dodge Charger, where his body was later dumped in that Dania Beach yard. But it doesn't stop there. That same gray Charger didn't just disappear. It was later found torched, completely burned out, in a residential parking lot in North Lauderdale. Investigators think the arson went down later that same morning, September 17, 2021. Surveillance footage from a neighbor's Ring camera caught everything. The video shows two Chargers, one gray, one blue, parked side by side in that North Lauderdale neighborhood. Then things start moving. A man wearing a bright yellow jacket steps out of the blue Charger, walks over, and hops into the gray one for just a few seconds. After that, he jumps back into the blue car and drives off fast. Moments later, boom, the gray Charger bursts into flames. What a setup. Forensic testing later confirmed that blood found inside the burned Charger matched Wiz the Wizard's DNA. That locked in the belief that this was the same vehicle used to transport him before being torched to destroy the evidence.
That nigga Kodak, I knew that nigga 10 years plus, fam. That's my brother, bruh. But you know, certain niggas get around niggas and put shit in his ear and make bruh feel different about a nigga. I can't change how bruh feel about a nigga, you feel what I'm saying? Shit, I wish we could fix it, but you know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, I don't like that shit either, fam. Them niggas know me and Yak together, pressure. They know that, you feel what I'm saying? Niggas don't want to see that. Shit crazy.
Cops then traced the blue Charger back to a man named Fabian Chambers, who owned the rental. When they tracked him down, he and his girlfriend, Kristen Kunstler, told police they had rented out that blue Charger to two guys, Marvis Cross and Devontae Cross. The rental dates? Right around the exact window when the murder went down. When investigators showed Fabian and Kristen the Ring camera footage of the arson, they didn't hesitate. They both identified the man in the yellow jacket as Devontae Cross. They said they recognized his walk, his build, and that same yellow jacket he always wore. That was enough to tie Devontae directly to the scene where the car was burned. Now here's where it circles right back to Sig, Liberia Sig. Detectives found that Sig's phone had been in constant contact with Marvis Cross's phone during the crucial window, between September 16th and 17th. In that short time, there were 9 answered calls and 4 missed ones, showing heavy communication during the night of the murder and the early morning when the arson happened. And this next detail is what really turned heads. Early that morning, Brown's phone sent a text to Marvis Cross containing latitude and longitude coordinates. When police checked those coordinates, they lined up only a quarter mile away from the exact spot where the gray Charger went up in flames. That's way too close to be a coincidence. This link, the calls, the coordinates, and the timing, gave investigators what they needed to pull Sig deeper into the middle of the murder investigation. The evidence was stacking fast, and every breadcrumb seemed to lead right back to his phone. Things start heating up even more on September 17, 2021, the same day Wiz the Wizard's body was discovered. That afternoon, Brown's phone sent out a text to Marvis Cross asking for his address. A short while later, Cross replied, sending his full location straight back to Brown's phone. But here's where things really start connecting. This communication lined up perfectly with other activity happening earlier that same morning. At 8:37 a.m., Jamie James Samuel, a known member of the Dan Hot Boys Grand Mafia crew, sent an iMessage to Brown's phone. And it wasn't just any message. It contained a photo from the crime scene, showing a body covered under a yellow tarp. That's heavy. The metadata on Samuel's phone later confirmed that the photo was taken near Wiz the Wizard's actual crime scene. It's like they were passing around proof of what just went down. Then at 10:19 a.m., Trayvon Key, another name tied to the case, sent a pin drop location to Brown's phone. Just 5 minutes later, Brown's phone sent those exact same coordinates to Marvis Cross. It's like everyone in that circle was syncing up locations and moving strategically that morning. Now rewind a bit to August 3rd, 2021. This is where the most shocking piece of the puzzle shows up. On that date, Liberia Sig's phone had a telegram conversation with Denzel Sannon, and according to the court documents, the messages claimed that Kodak Black allegedly offered the Grand Mafia $20,000 to take out Wisdom Williams, Wiz the Wizard. Yeah, you heard that right. 20 grand allegedly on Wiz's head. Let's go over that one more time because the paperwork literally spells it out twice. On August 3rd, 2021, Liberia Sig's phone communicated with Denzel Sannon via telegram, indicating Kodak Black offered the Grand Mafia $20,000 for the murder of Wisdom Williams. Now, whether that's fact or not, that's the part that's up for debate. Even the defense attorney admits that even if it were true, there's no direct proof that Brown was ever actually paid anything, or that he received money for helping out with the homicide or protecting HMT Trey from getting caught. The lawyer's basically saying, these are just messages, nothing solid, no transactions, no money trail. And let's be clear, mistakes on legal documents happen all the time. Sometimes you'll even see misspellings like Kodak Black instead of Kodak Black in official court records, but that doesn't make it fake. This paperwork comes straight from the Broward County Clerk's official website, so it's definitely real court material. The quote in the document says word for word. Even if true, this is hardly evidence Brown was paid any money for assisting in the homicide or helping Key avoid arrest. That's coming directly from Liberia Sig's defense lawyer, written inside his motion for bond. So this isn't some random internet rumor. It's straight out of the legal system, and it shows just how tangled and serious this whole situation really is. So basically, Sig's lawyer is saying, look, yeah, there's a message floating around claiming someone said Kodak was offering $20,000 for a hit. But that doesn't mean my client ever got paid or helped carry it out. He's not trying to clear Kodak Black's name. He's strictly defending his own client, saying you can claim there was an offer, but you can't prove any money ever touched his hands. That's his entire argument. But here's where things get messy, real messy. Because even if Kodak never paid a dime, just offering money for a murder counts as conspiracy to commit murder. That means if investigators decide to dig into Kodak, things could spiral fast. This could open up a whole new case with serious federal attention. Now, the internet's already lit up about it, especially over on Reddit. A post went up just a day ago, and people are wilding out in the comments. One person wrote, "That's why that boy Yak's so booted right now." Basically saying Kodak's been staying high because he knows this situation could blow up any second. Folks are claiming he's moving reckless because he feels the pressure closing in. Others are throwing around heavy words, calling him a snake, saying, "We all know he did it though. Deep down, we all did." You can feel the tension in the comments. People think this is proof of something big. Then there's a whole separate debate about the paperwork itself. Some users are skeptical, saying, they spelled Kodak's name wrong, that means it's fake. But that's how you know half these people have never been around real court documents. Anyone who's dealt with legal paperwork knows. Typos and name errors happen all the time, even on official files. One Redditor even said, that's because it isn't real. They don't spell words wrong in court papers. And another person clapped back, basically saying, this kid's clearly never been in trouble a day in his life. He has no clue what he's talking about. The comment section turned into a full-on argument, with everyone playing detective and legal expert at the same time. And while all this drama's unfolding online, people are already tagging creators like Traplore Ross, saying he's about to drop a whole documentary on this case. The energy online is insane. Everyone's waiting to see if Kodak's name really ends up dragged into a courtroom or if this all stays in rumor territory. Either way, the streets and the internet are both locked in right now. Man, this whole situation turned into a media storm, a total field day for content creators. And yeah, Traplore Ross and others are definitely digging into it, because when he locks in, he doesn't miss. But here's where it gets even more intense. There are voice messages from Wiz the Wizard himself recorded before his death, where he talks about the fallout with Kodak Black. That's chilling when you think about it. Apparently, the tension didn't just stop there. Kodak kept the trolling going even after Wiz was gone. Just a few days later, on September 21st, 4 days after Wiz's murder, Kodak Black went public again, this time switching the focus to another rapper, Jackboy. It all started when Kodak hopped on Twitter, seemingly reflecting on Wiz's death while sending mixed messages to Jackboy, who used to be one of his closest homies under the Sniper Gang label. Kodak posted, "It's a messed up feeling when you can't even explain how you feel, and even when you try, people judge you for it. Long live WizDaWizard." He didn't stop there, Kodak continued tweeting. Then funerals turned to photo shoots. You can't even grieve in peace. That hit deep. People felt that. But then out of nowhere, Kodak flipped the tone and wrote what looked like a peace offering to Jackboy. "Let's use this as a wake-up call, Jackboy. Things get crazy out here real fast. Forget this distant love. Come give me a hug." Now this is where fans got split. Some thought Kodak was being real, trying to squash old beefs and pay respect to Wiz's memory. But others believed it was just more trolling, saying Kodak was playing both sides, acting emotional while still stirring drama online. People started saying he was trolling Wiz before he got killed, and now he's trolling Jackboy too. And it's true. Kodak and Jackboy had a full-blown fallout, turning from brothers in arms to sworn enemies. Jackboy even dropped Kodak's interrogation video, putting him on blast for the world to see. That back and forth got dangerous. Jackboy was even shot at during one of those heated moments. Reports say the shooters missed him but hit someone close to him instead. It's been bad blood and retaliation energy ever since. So now, with all this going on, Wiz's death, Kodak's tweets, and the never-ending beefs, the whole scene's wrapped in drama. Every move Kodak makes gets watched under a microscope. And with new paperwork linking names and whispers flying online, nobody knows what's real, what's trolling, and what's about to explode next. Now, as far as anyone knows, there's no official connection tying Kodak directly to those situations. But the internet's saying he's just trolling hard at this point. Still, everything took a wild new turn when Kodak's own cousin, G1 jumped into the mix with a video that sent shockwaves through social media. Right after Wiz the Wizard's death, G1 looked straight into the camera and said something that had everyone talking. "You can't go on Twitter acting like you're depressed after sacrificing your own team." That line hit deep. He's basically saying, don't act heartbroken when you were part of the reason your people got hurt. It was bold, emotional, and full of tension. And that's Kodak's own family saying it. I'm not even going to go deep into the conspiracy theories around that one. It speaks for itself. But the fire didn't stop there. Kodak kept stirring the pot, going on to diss Wham Spin-Da-Bin, who just so happened to be Wiz the Wizard's cousin. That turned everything up another notch. Wham was still mourning his cousin's death, and hearing Kodak send shots his way, that made it personal. The two exchanged words online, and everyone could feel the temperature rising in Broward. Then tragedy hit again. Wham was killed just this past August. Word around the streets is that he actually knew the person who did it, and that the killer knew him too. It's wild to think how close all these connections run. If you look back at that Righteous Reapers video from the start, the one with Kodak Black, Wiz the Wizard, Wham Spin-Da-Bin, and Psycho Bob, it's heartbreaking. Out of everyone in that video, Psycho Bob's in the feds, Wiz is gone, and now Wham's gone too. It's like every name tied to that track ended up behind bars or in a grave. That's the kind of pattern that makes people start looking sideways. Like maybe the music world and the streets are crossing lines in dangerous ways again. And now, with this new paperwork surfacing, everything's heating up all over Broward County. People feel like they're finally getting confirmation on what they've been whispering about for years. But at the same time, it's raising even more questions. Could this paperwork spark another indictment? And if so, could this next one target Kodak Black himself? Only time will tell, but things are looking real tense right now. Anyway, that's the full breakdown of this wild story. What do you think? Is Kodak in the clear? Or could this storm be circling back his way? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can weigh in. You already know, it's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all. Are y'all rocking with me? Till next time, stay safe and stay tuned.